Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. So my name is Amrita, and my today I am putting my first video on YouTube. So basically, I have opened this channel with the intention of giving the more practical knowledge. So you won't be finding the definition or the interview or the explanations in my video. So to start with this video, I have decided to pick up this topic, OData. So I'll be I'll be creating a small parts where I will be demonstrating the OData development from its start to end. So let's get started. So first of all, I just want to tell you what exactly the process should be followed in the OData development, because I have worked into multiple projects and everywhere the steps are not followed, but I think those steps are very important because that makes sure that the OData implementation is very smooth, and it's good whenever you go back and look into it, it's very easy to find out the answers, and it looks very modularized if we develop the OData in such a way. So let's get started. So always the first step into the OData is called as a markup. So basically, what is markup? Markup is nothing but just a visual representation how your app is going to be going to look in future. Like, this is the visual representation. Actually, one should never proceed with the OData development if the markup is not finalized. Maybe not at the higher level, but at least having a little bit idea exactly like how the app is going to follow. Exactly, if you will ask me, like, markup should consist of each and every field. Like, it should contain how the messages will be displayed, how each and every button will function, how someone is going to select all the buttons. Like, each and every part of the screen should be explained in detail for the markup. So I'll show you. I have one example for the markup, so I'll show you how exactly the markup looks. So let's get to this. So say, for example, this is a sample markup. Okay, so this is like a debit entry note. So whenever I'll click on this app, so this 35 number shows that there are total 35 debit entry notes are there. So whenever I select this app, like we have our selection screen in the report program, similarly I'll be having a different selection screen option. So say, for example, department is there, servers is there, and the debit entry number is there. So as a user, I'll be selecting all this and will click on submit. After submitting, on the left hand side, I'll get the information of all the debit notes, like the header information. For example, what is the debit note number, what is the amount, what is the vendor code, company code, and what are the description. And as soon as I click on this, the detailed information will be shown here, like exactly the header, more detailed header. And after that, I'll get all the all the item information, whereas there are different buttons where actually you can see I can select, I can add rows here, like I can add the item entries into my debit note number also. So here itself I can delete also, I can send, I edit. So exactly, this is also a very high level markup. It is also not a complete markup, but ideally your markup should consist of the detailed app representation, how it's gonna be. So you can actually build this mockup directly in the PowerPoint also. In some of the companies, like in one company where I was working, there was a specially role which was called as a mockup designer was dedicated. So what she used to do is she used to take the requirement, she used to create the 2-3 mockups, and she used to show this to the business, and she used to get the approval. Okay, fine, they want the mockups to be like this. But not necessarily everywhere this process should be followed, but to begin with, at least someone should have a basic level of how their app is going to be developed. Because if you don't know what fields are going to be developed, how can you develop the OData further? So mockup is a very important step. There are certain apps which have there are certain sites which SAP has provided for the mockup designer. So say for example like this is actually the site given by the SAP to design the mockups, but I have never used it, so I have no idea. But you guys, if you guys want, you can go and explore this. Here you can have the different options, like how you can create the different type of mockups and all. You can see over here. Besides, okay, so this is the one app where you can have the mockup. Second is, like, say for example, if you are a ABAP developer and you want to develop this mockup from by yourself, right? But there are certain limitations, right? You cannot do, and you cannot go and design whatever that comes to your mind, because that has to be feasible also. So actually this is one of the other site given by SAP. I'll be linking all these sites in the description box, so you can go and check over here. So this is actually the site provided by the SAP, where they have actually given the different demo apps, so you can actually go through all these apps and you can actually have the look and feel how these apps are going to be working. So say for example, I'll take you through one. So say for example, consider the managed product. So suppose if I click on the managed product, okay, so if you can see, there are like the list is being opened over here. If you will scroll, there are like you can select this. You can actually, whenever you will select this, you can see all the details and everything is provided over here. You can actually, there are different options like send email and all. So if you, there are various and very good options given in this. So within this framework, whatever you see here, that everything is feasible via the OData development, right? So say for example, there are the total products are 14, but see, there are like depending upon the status of their products, they have been like differentiated into 3 different tabs. So so this is exactly how you can have the like how get the detailed information about the mockups and everything. Okay, so once your mockup is finalized, then you come to the second step, which is called as the EDM. So we haven't entered SAP yet. I mean, this is nothing, this is like, the mockup is simple, a PowerPoint presentation where you will have the look and feel. EDM is also the Excel sheet. The full form of EDM is actually entity data model. So I'll share with you one example of entity data model. So say for example, this is a sample EDM. Okay, so here actually this, what is this EDM actually means, right? So this is the this you can consider as the bridge between the front-end developer and the back-end developer. Here in this file, you are actually telling, okay, what all the entities, like there are different actions are being performed into the into each and every screen. Like say for example, department. So this department is like a F4, right? So all the data that appears into the F4 must be coming via one entity. So here what we do in this particular EDM sheet, what we do is we define exactly what are the entries, what are the entities which are being developed for this department F4. So using this EDM, we give the entity name, property name. I'll explain you everything in detail as we go forward. And then okay, so say for example, consider a scenario where this is a material F4, right? So material is MATNAR in SAP language, right? But it is not necessary your front-end developer will always be from the SAP background. So your front-end must be from like Java or from some different background, right? So MATNAR is something not relatable to him. So whatever the app that front-end person will develop, their property names has to be generic. So say for example, consider this is a department, right? So here if I say my first entity is 1, my entity list is department list. There should not be any gap between the I mean it has to be a continuous word, and try to follow this Pascal naming convention for this. So say for example, department list, like okay, what kind of properties a department list can have. So one is department code, second is department description. Okay, So what is the so all these things are coming in the output, right? Because whenever you do F4, you can see the department list and their description, right? So in this case, your entity's direction is output only, it is not for input. And what is key field? Key field is actually key field is the group of fields which can define the uniqueness of that entity. So say for example, department code cannot be repeated, right? So in this case, department code becomes a key field, right? And the operation is something I'll let you know, and then you have to mention the ZFM name. So say for example, here I give as Z underscore get department, right? And URL is something that we will create and we will give it to the front-end developer, so that whenever he will access this URL, in turn this entity will get called, and in the output you will get the department list. So at this stage it might not make sense to you, because as soon as I'll go forward, I will explain you what are the operations, what are the entity in detail. But just to understand these things, this particular idiom is very important, and it has to be a generic. So say for example, consider, I'll come to the next step. Okay, so say for example, if I am defining one entity for this item numbers, right? So in this, what properties I will have, like the nature of violation, this is the date of violation, the penalty amount and its unit. So all these things will be my properties, right? So this is how I can define the another entity. In the another entity, I can say, okay, you have to give any meaningful name that comes to your mind. So say for example, debit card item, debit entry item list. So here you can actually give the amount, then currency and everything, these are the kind of a property names you will give, which will not be a specific to any technology. They should not be SAP specific. They should be something any layman person can also understand. Okay, fine, currency means it is a currency, it should not be cur or kaki, so that any non-SAP person could not understand. So this is very important. So okay, let's get to the next topic. So once your EDM is developed, so depending upon that, you will create your function modules. You should always create this function modules. You can actually go and develop the OData directly also, but you should not do that. So first of all, depending upon your requirement, you should create the function module. So say for example, I will create one function module for the department list. I will create another function module for the server list. I will create another function module for the debit entry list. I'll create another function module which will give me the list of this all the debit note entries. I will create another function model where there will be an input debit note number, whatever the user that will select, that UI will send from the front end to the back end. So the input for that function module will be the debit note number, and in the output you can give the the header information, and as well as the item information. So this is how you are supposed to create the function model, and then using function model we are supposed to create the OData. So to create the OData, we should always go with the T code SEGW. So I'll just show you what is SEGW is. So I'll come again from here. So SEGW is nothing but the SAP Gateway Service Builder. So here in this case, actually there should be one, you should create one project, one project per app. So say for example, here I can say instead debit note. So here I can say debit note app, and let me save it into the local package. So as soon as I create my project, so there are this different things gets open, like entity types, association, entity set, service implementations, and this service artifacts. So I'll go through that all these details is one by one. But now currently get back to, so say for example your mockup is done, your idiom is done, then you come here and you, or using all your function modules, you create this SEGW. Then what happens is there are certain artifacts that get generated in the backend. So what are the artifacts? Artifacts are nothing but just certain classes gets generated automatically, as well as certain services gets generated. So say for example, this is one of the this is one project which has already been created. So if you go to the runtime artifact, you can find out this is something called as a underscore SRV is your service. So you're supposed to take this service and you are supposed to register this service into the gateway. What is gateway? How to register the service, that I will get to it in future. So consider, so next step is the service registration. Once your service is registered, then you have to generate the URLs. You can test URLs from your side, and once you check, okay, whatever the URLs that you have created, those are working fine, then you can fill all this data into the URL tab, and you can pass this this EDM sheet to the front-end developer for the further development. Okay, so once your app is developed from the front end, all these things you are supposed to do that you have done completely into the back end also, then the next steps comes to your code review. So your review should, whatever the SEGW project that you have created and what are the FMs you have created, you should do the code review of that, you should do performance review of that, and it should be released. Okay, now second thing is OData trace. Currently I don't have the access to the gateway server. I'll be getting it by tomorrow. So tomorrow I'll show you how exactly the OData trace is performed. So say for example, in the end what happens is, if consider you are a user and you should go and access each and every functionality, you should try to hit each and every URL that you have created, and there are certain T codes in the backend you can activate to check exactly how much time each URL takes. Because most of the time what happens is, there are some of the time what happens in the front end development, one URL gets hit again and again. So sometimes that is something called as a multiple calling. So in order to avoid this multiple calling, OData trace is very important. As well as there should not be more than 3 seconds. Like suppose if we have clicked somewhere, so say consider this scenario, like suppose I have clicked on this particular debit note number. So whenever this header data and item data appears, there should not be, like, there are different standards set up by the each and every company. In my previous company it was like, there should not be more than 3 seconds, right? The user should not have to wait for 3 seconds. So suppose if it is going up to 3 seconds, then we have to do something for the performance improvement. And suppose if everything is okay, then that means your OData app is completely ready and you can release it to the production system and the quality system for the further testing, in the quality system, and then to the production system. So this is what the OData development cycle is. Most of the time people entirely skips all these things, but according to me, if you want a very seamless integration with your app, then you should not skip any of this step. So that's it guys, this was my introduction to OData. So tomorrow I will go through the detail exactly what are the operations, because this is very important thing. Because in order to understand exactly how to perform different operations, exactly which operations to be used to have which kind of a data, right? For that, understanding these operations is very important. So tomorrow I will take you through all the operations into the system, and once all the operation is done, it will take like 2-3 days to understand, like 2-3 episodes to understand the operations in the OData. And there are different ways to test the different types of the operations. So I will show how you can create the URLs, how you can test the URLs before giving it to the front end developer. So that's it guys. So let me know if you have any questions or if you have any suggestions. You guys can comment down in the comment box, and please like, share and subscribe this video. And if you have any query, you can actually email me. Plus you guys can follow me on the Instagram. I have given the handles in the description box. Thank you and happy learning.